Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video. Today I'm going to be doing my full 1:400 scale collection update for summer of 2023. Now I know I said that in the last one I would be doing this once a year from now on, but I kind of changed my mind. I really like recording these videos and they tend to do very well, so I decided that I'm going to go back to doing them twice a year instead of once a year, just in the winter, probably around January kind of times, and in the summer, kind of around June or July times each year. This one's coming out in July. I actually waited because two reasons. For one, I attended the Airliners International Convention in late June, which was awesome. I may try to make a video about it. I didn't get as much footage of it as I'd hoped to, just because I was just so excited the whole time when I was there. I just totally forgot to record. I didn't get a huge amount of footage, but I may do a video kind of talking about it with the footage I have in the background. And the other reason is because I have just reached a very large milestone in my collection, and I wanted to wait until I reached that, and that is 150 models. Specifically 151. That's how many models I have in today's video. I was actually supposed to be 150, but I ended up getting 2 models in the mail today instead of 1 like I was expecting. But, you know, pleasant surprise to get 1 model early, but that means it's 151 today, not 150. But still, 150 models is a huge milestone, considering that in the first video I did of a collection update, which was in, I believe, April of 2020, so that's about 3 years ago, I only had 33 models, so I just can't believe how much my collection has grown. So I'm kind of rambling on here. If you don't know how this works, I do these every 6 months, like I said. Basically, on the table in front of you, this is every model I own in my collection. Most of these are up to date, but in the back, I do kind of have in their own little section retro models. You can kind of see them, you know, those like kind of shiny American chromes and some of the like old Iberias back there, the Concords. Those are all just kind of in the retro section. So I'll get to that at the end, but we are going to get started with just modern fleet, just modern aircraft that are currently in service or in an up-to-date livery in some cases that I still have them in the main part of my fleet. So yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. First up here, we have a United Express CRJ 200 in the old livery, United Express CRJ 200 in the new livery. We've got a United Express CRJ 550, United Express Embraer 170, United Express Embraer 175, second one, United Airbus A319, second one, United Airbus A320 in the Stars and Bars retro livery. Got a United 737-700 in the old livery, United 737-700 in the new livery. We got 2 United 737-800s. These are both in the new livery, but one of these is the Gemini Jets version, one of these is the NG Models version. Got a United 737 MAX 8. Got a United 737-900 in the old livery, United 737-900 in the new livery. Got a United 757-200 in the old livery. Then we got a couple more United 757-200s. These two are in the here liveries, the New York and the California livery. I actually picked up the New York livery at Airliners. This was one that I actually missed out on the initial release in 2020. So the California one is the original release from NG Models, and the New York one is the new release. There's very slight differences between them in terms of like the actual mold, but they're very similar. They're both very nice models, and it's awesome to have both of these. Then we got the United 757-200 in the new livery. Got the United 757-300 in the old livery. United 757-300 in the new livery. Got a United 767-300 and a United 787-9. You may notice that I actually have sold off some of my United wide bodies. I used to have a lot more. The main reason I did that was because a lot of them were the Gemini Jets versions, which just weren't that good molds, and I also just kind of wanted to downsize on my United wide-body fleet a bit, since I'm not doing those Newark updates anymore. But I will probably buy back some of them, like the 777-200ER, when we get one of those from NG in the new livery. I will probably pick that up, and the 764 in the new livery, I would like to pick that up as well. That's probably where I hold it though, because I feel like other than that I don't really have a need for that in my collection. You're kind of going to see that across my whole collection. I actually did sell off a good amount of models partially to help pay for new models at airliners, but also just kind of like to kind of do an overhaul of my collection and sell off models that I didn't really need or want anymore, and so I could buy models that I did need or want. So yeah, moving on. Next up, we have American, starting with the American Eagle CRJ 200, which is back in service now. Got two American Eagle CRJ 700s. These are both the new release. We got the American Eagle CRJ 900. We got three American Eagle ERJ 145s. We've got one Envoy and two Piedemonts. We've got the two American Eagle Embraer 170s. We've got the regular livery that was actually supposed to be an Embraer 175. The registration is a Republic Embraer 175. Don't really know how Gemini Jets messed that up, but it works now. And then we got the actual Embraer 170 release, which is the Envoy Retro. Next up, we have three Embraer 175s. These are all the newer Envoy release. We got an A319 with Sharklets. We got an A320 with CFM engines and an A320 with IAE engines. Got two 737-800s in the regular livery and a 737-800 in the One World livery. We got a 737 MAX 8. Got an A321 in the flagship Valor livery. And then we have my only American wide body, a 777-200ER. This is the gorgeous NG Models release. Came out quite a while ago now. It's been like 6 months. Then while I'm over here, I can go ahead and get my Delta wide bodies. We got a Delta 767-300ER and a Delta Airbus A330-300. Moving on to the rest of my Delta fleet right here, we have a Delta Connection CRJ 200, a Delta Connection CRJ 700, we got a Delta Connection CRJ 900, got a Delta Connection Embraer 170. Still waiting for that 175. Todd did say at Airliners that it will be February of next year. By then we'll get one, so I guess we'll have to see if that holds true. Next up here, we got a Delta Boeing 717-200. We actually just did a new release of this for the first time in like 5 years, so I'm gonna pick that up because this is the I believe it's like 2013, 2014 release, which is not a bad model, but doesn't have any antennas or anything, and the gear aren't very detailed, so I probably will pick up that new one to go along with this. Got the A220-100. This is technically the CS-100 because it's the first release. And then we got the newest release on the not-so-good mold, the A220-300. Got two 737-800s. Some more pickups from airliners. I've been needing to get these for a very long time, and I'm glad I was finally able to. Got the 737-900ER. Got the MD-90. And then the Delta A321 in the Thank You livery. I'd like to get a regular livery as well. This is just all I have for the time being. Then finally for Delta, we got the 757-200 and the 757-300. And now I'm over here, since we're kind of getting into low cost, got the Spirit Airbus A321 and the Sun Country 737-800 with the 40 years of flight sticker. On to Southwest. Here we have a Southwest 737-700 in the California One livery. Unfortunately, this did just get repainted, so I might be selling this model. I'll have to see. We got the increasingly rare Southwest 737-700 in the Canyon Blue livery. Got the Southwest 737-700 in the Heart livery with split scimitars, the Panda release. We got the Southwest 737-800 in the new livery and the Southwest 737 MAX 8. Up to Alaska, we got the Alaska Embraer 175. This one is SkyWest, I believe. Then we got the Alaska 737-700, got the Alaska 737-900ER, and the gorgeous Alaska 737 MAX 9 in the West Coast Wonders livery. That is just such an awesome livery. Next up, we got a Breeze Embraer 195 and a Breeze A220-300. Next up, we have the Contour ERJ 145. Got the Allegiant A320 in the Travel is Our Deal livery and the Allegiant A320 in the new livery. Got the Frontier A320 Neo in the Baja the Whale Shark livery and the Frontier A321 in the Steve the Eagle livery. Got the JetBlue A320 in the Blueberry's tail and the JetBlue A321 in the Mint tail. I guess it's the Prism's tail technically. It's kind of the tail they introduced with Mint. I always want to call it the Mint tail. They actually introduced a new livery pretty recently on the 321s, so I'm probably not going to get any more JetBlue planes for the time being. I'm just going to wait until they come out on the new livery. Really all I need for them is an A220 other than that, I feel like I'm pretty good. So when that comes out, I will definitely get that in the new livery. So yeah, that's my JetBlue fleet. Next up right here, we have the National Airbus A330-200, absolutely gorgeous model. And I believe that does conclude kind of my US carriers other than kind of cargo and military. So let's get into cargo and military. Right here we have an Alaska Air Cargo 737-700. Got my only custom model. It's not very good looking, but it's my IFL group 727-200. We got the Kalitta Charters 2 727-200. Have a FedEx Boeing 757-200, a FedEx Boeing 767-300, excuse me. And then over here we got the UPS Boeing 757-200, got the UPS Boeing 767-300, and the UPS Boeing 747-8. Then my one kind of current military model, we have my US Air Force C-17 Globemaster. This is the Dover-based one. And then we've got a couple of Shapeways custom, sort of custom. They're from Shapeways. They're custom. I don't know what I'm saying, but these are Gulfstream G550s. I would kind of like to actually like paint some liveries onto these, but for the time being, they are just blank. Moving on to international, starting with kind of our North American internationals. Right here we have an Air Canada Express CRJ200, the Air Canada Express CRJ900, and the Air Canada Airbus A220-300. Got the WestJet 737-800, the Volaris A320neo in the Cien Aviones livery, and the Aeromexico 737-800. Then kind of getting into Europe, kind of North America, kind of Europe, depending on what you want to call it. I mean, obviously it's technically Europe, but the way Iceland is, it's almost as close to North America as it is to Europe. But yeah, we got the Icelandair 737 MAX 8 in the new livery. And then moving on to some of our European narrow bodies. I've kind of started building up my European regional fleet, which is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So starting right here, we have a Luxair Q400. I actually bought this at Airliners from JJ Skippy, so shout out to you for that. Beautiful model. Got the British Airways City Flyer Embraer 190, the KLM City Hopper Embraer 190, the Aer Lingus Regional ATR 72-600, and the Aer Lingus A321neo. Moving on to British Airways, right here we have the British Airways 787-8, the British Airways 787-10, the British Airways 777-200ER, the British Airways A350-1000, the British Airways Boeing 747-400, and finally the British Airways Airbus A380. Next up, moving on to my favorite airline that I have also built up quite a bit since the last video. We have a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330-300. This is the Phoenix release. We got two Virgin Atlantic Airbus A330-900 Neos. We got the Phoenix version, which is GVTOM, and the Gemini Jets version, which is GVJAZ. Next up, we have the Jet Hut Boeing 787-9. The I'm not even sure if this is Gemini Jets or JC Wings, because it kind of came in that like packaging they do where it's like they don't say the brand of it for copyright reasons. But either Gemini Jets or JC Wings 787-9, and a model I just got today, the gorgeous NG models Boeing 787-9 for Virgin Atlantic. So I've got 3 of those now. Then we got the Airbus A350-1000, just one of those, and of course the Boeing 747-400. While we're over here, we'll go ahead and get the Iberia Airbus A350-900 and the Austrian 777-200 in the 60 years livery. Getting into kind of a different angle because I can't stretch my arm any further, we have a Lufthansa Airbus A330-300, a Lufthansa Boeing 787-9, and a Lufthansa Airbus A350-900. Have a KLM Airbus A330-200, a KLM Boeing 787-9 with the 100 years tag, and a KLM Boeing 777-300ER. Next up, kind of moving into Middle Eastern and Asian, we got the El Al 787-9 in the Jerusalem of Gold livery. We have the Japan Airlines 787-9, and of course, way back there, the ANA 787-9 in the Star Wars R2-D2 livery. And then right here, my final kind of up-to-date model, we have my Emirates Airbus A380. And now kind of getting into retro right here, we have a US Airways Express Embraer 170, the
gorgeous Continental 737-200, another pickup from Airliners, and this kind of interesting model, which is my US Air Force Boeing B-29. Very interesting one from Dragon Wings. Next up, we got the Sobel Air 737-800, the National Airlines Boeing 757-200, the Omni Air International Boeing 757-200, the American Boeing 757-200 in the chrome livery, and the American Boeing 767-300 in the chrome livery. It's one I've been after forever. I was able to get at Airliners. Interesting fact, this is actually the first wide body I ever flew, was an American 767-300 in this livery without winglets. So that's one I've been after for a while. Next up, we have an Allegiant Boeing 757-200. We have a United Douglas DC-8-21 in the Sawbass livery. It's a very pretty model. We have a Hawaiian Boeing 767-300ER and a Delta I just cannot talk today. We have a Delta McDonnell Douglas MD-11 in the Colors in Motion livery. You can tell here I was starting to run out of space. I kind of underestimated how big my collection actually was. I barely had enough space for everything. But here we have the Malaysia Boeing 747-400. We have the Transamerica Boeing 747-200. The gorgeous TWA Boeing 747-100. We have an Iberia Airbus A340-600. We have an Iberia Airbus A340-300. So this is another pickup at Airliners. This was another wide body I actually had the chance to fly back in 2013. It's the only time I've ever flown on a quad jet, so I've been after one of these for a while. Luckily there's a new Aero Classics release of it I was able to find. Next up, we have an Air Canada Airbus A340-300, and finally, the last two models, we have my two Concords. We got British Airways in the Chatham Dockyard livery and Air France. And so with that, that does conclude my entire 1 to 400th collection for summer of 2023. If you made it all the way this far in the video, I hope it wasn't too long. I haven't looked at the actual time of recording yet, but hopefully I didn't ramble on for too long. But I would like to thank you guys very much for watching. As for future videos kind of coming soon, once again, like I said, I would kind of like to make an Airliners International video. I'm not sure if that will happen. That's kind of a maybe. I probably am going to do one more Lexington update just on this plain wood board before I actually get started on the new Lexington, get started building the new Lexington airport board, which hopefully will be really cool. I'd kind of like to make a video of kind of the process of building that. You guys seemed interested in that when I mentioned it in the last video, so I will probably do a video kind of building that airport. But yeah, so that does conclude today's video. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed, and leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts. How many models do you have? I would love to hear from you. So with that, for a third time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.